Do you have your wine, your water, your snacks? Okay, make sure you have those because I'm getting deeper into this. Okay. Hey y'all, it's your girl Toy. Welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I've been back. It has been a minute and I will get into that in a second. But if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Please, please, pretty please. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, welcome back. I see you. And I hope that you guys stay to the end of the video because I have a lot of catching up to do. I am going to go on just a tiny bit of a rant, so make sure that you have your water, make sure you have everything that you need, snacks, because I'm going to get us all caught up on wedding stuff and also, you know, just talking about how life has been lifing, okay? Because life has been lifing. Where's my damn water at though? 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I've got my water and I'm ready to chat. Oh my God, where do I get started? I did not write down any notes. Usually I have my little notepad. You know, usually I just have an agenda. But I just wanted to talk candidly about what's been happening as far as like the wedding and how life has been lifing. I haven't done a new fragrance video in a minute and I would love to get back into that because I've got some male scents that I would love to review. And so I guess after we got engaged, things just changed as far as where my priorities were spent, like where I put most of my time and energy. And prior to getting engaged, like the YouTube channel was definitely, and it still is, but it was definitely like my baby. Like I was rolling with it. And then I had surgery back in February, and that took me about 2 months to recover from. And then I went back to work. Things got busy at work, and then everything else just started to happen as far as like the wedding stuff. So everything just seemed to be happening all at once. And I'm a huge advocate for mental health and knowing when to put up boundaries, knowing when to say no, and knowing when to just ease up a little bit, because you know there have been times in the past where I just like was burnt out and could not continue to do what I set my mind out to do. Not that I gave up on it completely, but I might need to revisit some things, especially when I'm doing everything all by myself. Like we already know that being a content creator is a lot of work, okay? It is a known thing. If you don't know that, let me tell you that you are the, you know, videographer, photographer, makeup artist, the hairstylist, the video editor, and you upload to all of the social media platforms yourself and promote it. And so it's a lot, on top of being a project manager and advertising, pharmaceutical advertising at that, and then also planning a wedding. So I'm not saying all this to give you guys excuses, because I don't think you need excuses, because I don't feel like I have to give them, but just giving you some reasoning on why there may be a gap between this video and the last video. Also, the last video that I taped was that I taped. Look at that. I sound like I'm born in like 1980s. Kind of was, okay. But the last video that I recorded was my bridesmaid proposal video, and I started to edit that, and I had like one other video to add to the end of that, because I had, you know, my bridesmaid in a different location than the actual dinner. And so like getting those files, and then also the file got corrupted. The file got corrupted while I was editing it, and I was just like, fuck this. I gotta get back to this. I don't have the time to deal with corrupted files, okay? So there's that. But I've got it working again, and I just have to wrap my mind around sitting down, and the editing is still good. but I have to go back through it and make it good for you guys, because I want you guys to get the full experience of how it was and how I meant for it to be when you guys see it. So after that, after the bridesmaid proposal, I also have some plans on sharing how this wedding planning has been going so far by me planning it by myself. Well, not by myself, me and my fiance. We're planning it together. But because of the field that I work in, I have, some experience with just putting timelines together, keeping us on time, and making sure that we hit certain milestones. So I've kind of taken the lead on that, and then also doing a lot of research into things that I like, and the styling that we came up with together, and also working to get his his buy-in and what his thoughts are, because his feedback is extremely important. This is his day too, so I just want to make sure that we're both on the same page with everything that comes together with that. So we're going to talk about that in a second, but I say all that to say that this is a lot, but it is a fun thing to do when it comes to wedding planning, and I wanted to experience it first before I relayed my feedback and guidance and stuff to help you and create those videos. So I've been taking notes along the way, and I will create specific videos for specific things as we go along the rest of this wedding journey. Can you believe that we're 7 months? We are 7 months away. Like, that really just hit me. I've been seeing it on the knot, they give you like how many days are left and different places, but I guess saying it out loud to you all makes it real. 7 months away. I remember when we were 12 months and I was like, we've got to get it together. We've got to start now. Okay, because at work, I work on projects that go for like 6 months, 8 months to a year. So I know, like, when you want things, you want it done right, and you don't want to feel that anxiety, that rush, that chaos, you've got to get ahead of it. Like you got to make that a priority. If you found a timeline online that says that you can wait until 4 months to get hair and makeup, girl or guy, you better get on it at like 10 months, 9 months, already start researching it. Like, these are the things that I've already started to do and implement into my own wedding planning. So getting the experience, doing the research, and then I'll package it up for you all, and then I will share it. Because that's one of the things that I love about this channel, is that it's about being creative, it's about sharing that knowledge, and it's also about building a community of people that are looking for ideas, that have experienced things themselves, and they would love to share. And so I just love having the opportunity to share my wedding planning experience with you all, because it's fun. And there's also some upsides to this stuff, and there's some downsides to this stuff. And I have not really come across a lot of YouTube videos that really tell the details, like, not just like, oh, well, what color napkins do you want? Or make sure that, the dresses are like different shades of purple. No, I'm talking about the stuff nobody wants to talk about, like such and such don't want to sit next to such and such at a table. Are you kidding me? Such and such don't want to be in a room with such and such. And it's like, all right. Like, there's also some things that you have to deal with on a personal level, on a familial level, on a level that is just like, now I know why they coined the term bridezilla, because when you start to put your foot down, people are just shocked. Like, they don't understand, they don't get it. They're like, what happened to you? Used to be so kind, used to be so nice. Like, yeah, well, you know, $45,000 wasn't on the table when you was talking crazy, you know, like 2 years. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just the fact that you are paying for this wedding, you are paying for your day, and you want things to go the way that you and your fiance have planned it. And so anything that kind of gets in the way of that will start to affect how you feel about your wedding, how you feel about that person and that relationship. Like, there are a lot of things that you also have to balance, and maybe this is not for everyone, but this is certainly for someone. Okay, because it was for me. And I know that when you expose certain things, some feelings may get hurt, some people may take it personal, but honestly, you know, it's all about telling the truth about certain things, so you don't go into something with different expectations than what is the reality, if that makes any sense. So we'll get into that. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what we've done so far to date, okay? So I'm going to start from right after the engagement. We had the bridesmaids and bridesman proposal, which I will post a video of that. And also, my fiance proposed to his groomsmen. It wasn't a lot of pomp and circumstance like mine. Like, it was not a thing. I'm extra. So I gave them gifts. I'll pop the video here of the bridesmaid proposal boxes that I created. And so he is going to do something a little bit later on. So I was just like, I just feel like the ladies and gents on my side, we wanted to get the ball rolling with some festivities, some fun stuff like that. So I thought that that was a great opportunity to do that with them. The next thing that happened after that was we booked most of our vendors. And when I say most of our vendors, I mean all of them with the exception of hair and makeup and his barber. So like the florist is booked. The videographer and photographer is booked. The DJ is booked. The officiant is booked. And so those were the major vendors that we wanted to get out of the way. So there was a lot of research during that time, and I have to say I didn't go out interviewing a whole lot of people. I found a few people online, and read those reviews, guys. Make sure that if you come across someone that has like 5 stars and like 200 reviews, go through those reviews, because even though you're like, well, I'm not possibly gonna find a 1 star, everybody loves them, read the love. You know, you want to read that, because it also helps to form your style and what you can expect on your day. So don't just look at someone says 5 stars and 1,000 reviews and you just hop on the phone with them and you're like, oh, okay, so tell me about yourself. Like, no, when I found my florist, I went to a few different places, and what I liked about her was that she's right in my town. So she's local, she's a small business, she's a woman-owned business. And also, when I read the reviews, multiple people were saying how they just loved her, how she was another set of hands on the scene. how she almost acted as another coordinator. How she would like go and get water for the bride and groom while they're taking photos. How she like helps set things up, work with the photographer with the photos, and the bouquets and everything like that. Even adding additional greenery in certain places to make things look a little bit more full. So I was just like, yeah, I want somebody that's a little bit type A like me. Like, absolutely, that's what I need. I need all type A's on deck. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to make sure that people are going to see things that the normal eye wouldn't see. And if you have a creative air about yourself, obviously you found my channel for a reason. You're some sort, everyone's creative, but there are different levels to this stuff, right? So if you know that like that's gonna be a really dope shot, but somebody's water bottle is in the way, like you gotta know, let me go get that water bottle out the way. Because some people might just be like, oh, that's a cute shot, that's really, really nice, but there's like garbage or bags and stuff like blocking the scene, and you just want other people around that's going to focus on those things, while you, bride and groom, can just be in your moment, in your bliss, and enjoying the day, and not having to worry about giving direction, because you surrounded yourself with people who are just as attentive to detail and attentive to you as you are to them. So that's what you want to make sure that you see or check out when you're looking at a lot of these reviews. If you do see some reviews that are less than 5 stars, maybe they're like 4.4 or something like that, read them, scroll. Even if you got to scroll past the good ones to get to the bad ones, you might want to make sure that you're reading everyone's perspective and opinion, and you can base your stuff off of that. I interviewed like 2 officiants. One officiant, we had met, me, my matron of honor, and my mom had met him at a bridal show. And so even then I was kind of a little off put by his humor, his sense of humor, because he calls himself funny, like the funny officiant, you know. And at that point when I met him, I was just taking cards, honestly. But I kind of knew in my heart that I didn't want nobody up there making jokes during the ceremony, like not at that level to where you would coin yourself the funny officiant. So I was just like, you know what, I'll take it, because he's a black guy, and I wanted to make sure that we surround ourselves with people from our culture too, and not just because he was a black guy, but because it seemed as if he represented us in what we would like. And plus, I would love to give back to black owned businesses. Like, it's just who I am, you know? I frequent every other business, so why not give back to my own community? So we got on the call with him, and he was cool. But I noticed, you know, my fiance can be a little quiet sometimes. Even though he's listening, he's paying attention, but you know, I talk for a living, you know, it's what I do. And he had mentioned or said something like, hey, are you there? Like, you know, you're not really saying anything. Like, am I all right? You know, like, is everything okay? You know, just like kind of like digging into him. And I was like, okay, like I didn't have a problem with that. But then I kind of thought, you know, I didn't want this initial idea of who my fiance is to make an impact on his officiating. I didn't want him to start making jokes on my fiance's expense based off of his first interaction with him. And so because I kind of thought he was a little corny. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude was corny. And I was just like, okay, we'll look further into this. And then he kept like mentioning things like, if we're late, then he's got to charge us for this, which I understand. And he's talking about gas, and he's coming from like, you know, New York, and not in New York, we're in Jersey. And so I'm like, okay. And he's like talking about gas, and he's talking about tolls, and the further they are away, the more they have to charge, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. I can't. I went on Wedding Wire and I found a woman who lives right here in my town and has been to the venue many times. It is her favorite venue, as she's told us. And I originally wanted a black woman to marry us, just because, and he did too. It just feels really comfortable, and black women are just like dope, and like black women raised us, and so it just would have been a great ode to the women in our family, especially those who come from ministry, to just feel comfortable with who we selected to marry us. Not that we're basing all of our decisions based on everyone else's comfort level, but I have, like, my grandfather's a bishop and my grandmother's a pastor, and his grandmother is a pastor as well. His brother is, a clergyman, and his mom is very heavily into the church as well. So it's like, we didn't want to, and I have a stepmom who's also a minister, and so we didn't want anyone to feel bad that we chose one or the other to officiate. So we went outside of them and chose someone else. But the woman that we did choose, I feel like she's kind of within the realm of what they're used to when they fellowship and when they go to church. So I think we made a really good decision with her. She had a lot of great reviews as well. She's beautiful, and I'm just excited to work with her. But also, I can't say that without mentioning that with the other guy, he was very on top of his, appointments, making appointments through Zoom, sending Google invites, responsive to emails right away, getting back to us on time. Like, he was the type A that I would be looking for. The woman that we chose is not that. Let me just say that she's not that. She is someone who has her business. She is a minister as well, and she does this, but maybe is not as proficient in scheduling and timeliness when it comes to emailing and communications. I'll say that. But I was willing to make a pass on that just because her entire package, I loved it. Moving on, after that, the DJ. So we went on Wedding Wire. While I was there looking for the other officiant, I started looking at DJs. I was just curious. And this is how it all starts, guys, because like you start to do your research, and then you start to fill out the forms on their websites, and then people start to reach out to you, and then you feel like you don't want to be rude and not reply. So then before you know it, you're setting up an appointment, and before you know it, you don't book them. Like, it happens like that. So if you've got a list of folks that you want to hit up, I would say keep the list very small. I would say do your due diligence right away while you're doing your research. Cut out the ones that are the maybes. You don't want no maybes. Just top three. Top three. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, and before I even get into all this too, I guess I've already gotten into all this, right? Because I've been talking for a minute. When you're researching your vendors, it is extremely, extremely important that they have a good web presence. They have to have a good web presence, because if you come across a vendor, maybe it was someone that was recommended to you, and their website looks like it hasn't been updated since 1992, no. I don't care how low your prices are. I don't care how many beautiful bouquets you can make. If you can't take the time to update your website and your social media, and you have a business, especially with weddings, to me, it shows, it is giving, I don't care. It's giving, this is not my priority. It's giving, I'd rather do this than that. It's giving, I haven't hired anyone to handle this for me. It's giving, I'm behind in the times. It's giving, I may have issues if I work with you because I'm not sure if you are on the same page as me when it comes to the things that I want and need and what's trendy, because you can't even update your website. Okay? That's a problem for me. You never go to somebody's, if it looks like a green screen, because this is also one of the reasons why I booked my florist, because not only was she local, not only was she a woman-owned business, not only were her flowers beautiful, but her social media is on point. I follow her on social media. She makes reels all the time. I can see the work that she's currently doing, her past work. Her website is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. It's clean, it's crisp, it's professional, and it's just like, okay, this is what I like. People who brand themselves in a way that makes you want to come. It feels inviting. It feels like this is the quality that I should be used to. But if you go, which is what I did, to another website that was recommended to me, just because they're local or just because they're recommended to you does not mean that you have to go with them. But, and of course, I say all this to say, go with what fits your budget. Go with what fits your budget. But to me, these are the things that I look out for, because there are red flags. Okay, if you go to a website and it's a green background, first of all, no. I don't even care what else is on the site. Lime green background, I don't understand it. I don't get it. So then it was like, okay, the menu looked crazy. So it was just like, you know, bouquets, weddings, holidays, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I was like, okay, I'll click on weddings. So I clicked on weddings. Do you think they would have like a portfolio there of like weddings that they've done to show us like how individual weddings can be customized? You know, they had like this cookie cutter, choose this bouquet or this bouquet, or choose that bouquet. It's a flower shop. You know what I'm saying? The woman that I booked, and I'll let you guys know her information soon, but the woman that I booked is a floral boutique, okay? And I absolutely love that. I love that. Hey guys, thank you so much for staying to the end of this first video for our wedding planning update. Okay, this was part 1, and I wanted to break this up into 2 videos because, you know, I don't know if you guys have time to be sitting there all day, but make sure you go and check out part 2 so that we can continue this conversation, because there's so much to talk about, and I don't want you guys to miss anything, but I wanted to make sure that you guys weren't sitting here for about an hour or so. Okay, so make sure you guys check out that video, leave a comment, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.